Shalom. Once again, we're here at the studios of WUFO right here in the city of Buffalo, New York. This is the Sisters edition of the Apostolic Rock radio time. We have 15 minutes here that we talk to the saints here in the city, and this is the overflow, if you will, the remaining, the residue, you know, the breadcrumbs, the cornbread, whatever you want to call it. But we're getting ready for the holy days, and I said I wanted to take you to the beginning of it, where when Israel, the children of Israel, first started keeping the holy days, and how it all came about. And we've been talking about Abraham. Abraham was the one who Yahweh chose. That in the reading of those scriptures concerning Abraham, it really just illuminates your mind and your thoughts concerning how God is in tune with His creation and with His people. You know, to call Abram out of his home and out of his family, and then from Abraham to make a great and mighty nation. And He shows to Abraham the sands of the sea, shows him the stars of heaven, and tell him, from you, I'm going to make a great nation of people. Now, what's so awesome about that is that this man didn't even have one kid. You know, make a great nation out of someone who doesn't even have the one. It's like someone told me the other day, and said, Lady Smothers, what? You're not used to nobody fussing at you? You're not used to being wrong, and you're not used to this, and you're not used to that? I said, well, and I wanted to tell her, due to the lateness of the hour, I just left that part out. I told her, I said, but guess what? If you don't think nobody ever told me, you don't think nobody ever corrected me, if you don't think that, guess what? You won't be number one tonight. Yeah. You know, so, you know, here Abraham is just him. He doesn't even have a number one. You understand where I'm coming from? Doesn't even have a number one. And so, and then when Abraham begins to think, he thinks, okay, then it must be my number one is going to have to be my servant's kid that's here. This young man that's here in my household, that's a part of my family, that's working for me. Evidently, he must be that. So Yahweh tells him no. And now Abraham, you got to remember, Abraham is old. He's old. His wife old. They done been through the bearing years. They don't have no, you know, they can't bear children anymore. But Yahweh says to him, I'm going to make you a great nation. I'm going to make out of you a great people. And all of the family of the earth is going to be blessed because of you, without even one. It just shows you how awesome God is. So here it is. Abraham, Yahweh tells him, so no, out of your bowels, out of you, Abraham, I'm going to have a son. Now, you always hear people say how Sarah tells Abraham to go to Hagar, and maybe this is how the Lord's going to do it. And then you hear people say Sarah tried to help God out. I don't see that, trying to help God out. That's not my concept of thinking, you know. She's just thinking, okay, I want a child, and God said I'm going to have a child, so therefore it must be. You got to be kidding me! 3 minutes is up almost. You got it. I'm going to have a child, you know, and so, okay, Abraham, you go, and perhaps this is the way God's going to do it. Not trying to help God out. And you can tell she's not trying to help God out, because when she finds out that she's going to have a child, she laughs. So if she was trying to help God out, she would have been saying, woohoo, from the very beginning. You know, I'm going to have my own baby. I'm going to have my own baby. Wasn't nothing like that. So she wasn't trying to help God out. It was just so unbelievable that this was going to happen to her, you know. So as she goes on, you know, Abraham goes in with Hagar, have a child, you know, and then they get the big head, and Sarah tells him, get rid of this woman, you know. She don't want to get rid. He doesn't want to get rid of him. And man, there's always something else. You know, they listen to the woman. He had no problem going in with her. You know, go on in, baby. You're going into my handmaid, and go on have a baby with her. And then when it get time for her to get rid of him, no, I ain't getting rid of her. I ain't Humans, figure us out. Only one can figure us out is Yahweh. You know. So anyway, finally they got rid of her. But in the meanwhile, Sarah has a baby, just the way Yahweh said. Just like he said. Yes. She has a son named Isaac. And the very promise that Yahweh gave to Abraham, he gave the same thing, the same promise to Isaac. And that's why they are called our fathers, our forefathers, our patriots. They are called that because of the fact, the promise that Yahweh made to Abraham, he turned around and gave the same promise to Isaac. The promise that Yahweh gave to Abraham and to Isaac, he turned around and gave the same promise to Jacob. My time is out, y'all. I had these scriptures I wanted y'all to read, but you know what? Like I told you at the very beginning, I want to wet your whistle. I want to pique your appetite that you will read for yourself. Because when you read it for yourself, what Yahweh is doing in the life of his people, what he did back then, he's doing the same thing today. For he is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And there are these holy days that Yahweh has given to us that will always remind us of what he is doing. Always remind us of our calling, our destiny, our purpose in life. And at the Apostolic Rock, come on girls, you will hear us say,
there is absolutely, positively, no reason for you to be confused. Why you do this, rely on the word